Hi, everybody. I'm Russ Lewis. We know this pandemic is far from over, no matter how much you wish life could go back to normal. And Reka, we saw some videos of crowded bars and nightclubs this past weekend on social media.
Yeah, we sure did, Russ. In fact, 3 Houston bars have made it onto Mayor Sylvester Turner's wall of shame after he says they refuse to close under new rules. They include Spire Nightclub downtown, Poor Behavior in Midtown, and Prospect Park just west of the Galleria area. Now, you may recall bars and nightclubs had to close at noon on Friday under a new order by Governor Greg Abbott.
Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, or TABC, agents visited 1,500 businesses over the weekend across Texas, finding 59 of them open and in violation of the governor's latest order, which is meant to try and control the spread of COVID-19. 7 bars, including 2 in our area, had their liquor permits suspended for 30 days. Here in Houston, social media posts showed some bars packed to the brim with patrons, and we're told the fire marshal's office was out making sure establishments were in compliance, something it will continue to do. Camerata Houston, a wine bar, adapted into a pickup or delivery only bottle shop so it could stay open.
I think there's a genuine feeling of concern, but ultimately I think people are really trying to do their best to comply with the regulations that we've been kind of required to operate under.
In a statement today, the Texas Bar and Nightclub Alliance said in part, quote, to suggest the public welfare is protected by singling out one specific type of alcoholic beverage license over another is without logic and does not further the aim of protecting the public from COVID. That group is considering a lawsuit to challenge the latest order, since many restaurants that have bars are allowed to remain open. The determining factor, of course, is the amount of revenue that comes from food compared to alcohol. Back to you.